Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. Oh, maybe we need to go a little higher here. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe a little bit back here. How about that, Sarge? Do you think that will work? I think it'll work. Just Alright, good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to some yoga fun this morning. My name is Julia, and as a reminder for our Thursdays, we take things slow, being able to take note of what is or what is not serving our body at this time. So for our morning flow, just allow yourself to, take the necessary time and steps to pay attention to what is making us feel great, what could need attention, and overall, and what we can explore a little bit more. On Tuesday, we worked with some light movements on our hip abduction, which, if you remember what abduction is where we bring the limb away from our body, and then when we bring it back, that is adduction. So we were working on some nice and simple, but some of them could be challenging to some exercises where we would abduct the limb away to help strengthen the muscles in our hip for better joint movement and stability, and especially stability into the lower spine. And so for today's practice, we are still going to be focusing a little bit on the hips, but adding some more flexation to it and some more joint mobility, just paying a little extra attention to those areas. So with that being said, I would go ahead, grab 2 blocks. Usually 2 blocks is a recommendation, but specifically for today's class, we will need both of the blocks. A strap handy if you have it available. A blanket for some additional comfort or padding. And then if you would like to get a nice pillow for some of our cool down poses. So you can go ahead and take a moment to collect all of your belongings here. Go ahead and play light music for myself. You're more than welcome to play music on your end. Sometimes YouTube likes to shut things down on our end if we play our music too loud. Sometimes. So you're more than welcome to be your own DJ. I'll go ahead and play my music. Wonderful. And so, as you get your things collected here, let me go ahead and collect my morning nectar. You can go ahead and start with today's practice by coming to the top of our mat, and then with our legs, maybe spreading them a little wider than hip length apart. We can start to create a soft bend to the knees, start bringing the tailbone back, but also a very slightly rounded pointing down. So as you can see, if we just point our tailbone back, we got to dip into our spine. But if we bring it back and dip in just very slightly, we are creating more space into our spine for some movement here. Nice and neutral. Good. Slow it down to your hands on your thighs or onto your shins. Good. Finding that straight spine and maybe bringing the stomach inwards towards the spine so we can get that healthy hip hinge. Good. So if you start to feel like your little spine is dipping and your chest is coming upward, just bring your stomach, bring it in and engage, just allowing yourself to feel what a figure 7 shape would feel like with a more neutral spine. Just taking a couple of these extra breaths, bringing in just a very micro bend into the knees today. And then very slowly as you go through your breaths, just allow your hands to slide down your shins, lift up the kneecaps, coming into a forward fold here. You may start to feel this awakening behind the calves, maybe even behind the thighs. Hands onto the elbows here, guiding the chest towards the upper arms. Glue the big toe, pinky toe, and the heel to the mat, making sure that we're not putting too much weight into the center of our arc or too far to the edge of our feet. We are nice and centered here. And you can stay here, or if you wanted to add a very minimal swing, pendulum in the upper half of our body, side to side. But allow some of this pendulum swing to be present by the hips. Maybe even having the hands onto the ground instead. And maybe you'll start to notice that after a few breaths, your hamstrings are releasing. You're able to bring your hands a little closer to the mat. Then we're going to go ahead and start to bring the tailbone towards the back of the room, coming into a supported squat. So hands onto the mat here. Good. And then still swinging those hips side to side. And possibly into this squat, we can bring more space in between our feet here. And maybe as we swing, we slightly turn our torso over towards the opposing leg. So if we're leaning towards the left side, maybe turning it a little towards the right side, straightening the right foot. Good. And then straightening the left leg, taking our eye gaze over towards the left foot. Good. And we're just going to take a few more breaths here. We're just finding some organic movement to awaken our spine today, awaken our hips, our hip flexors. Getting some soft joint mobilization this morning. So even when you straighten out your leg, you maybe take your heel up and point the toes towards the ceiling, maybe a little deeper. If you wanted to go all the way down into your ninja, you can do that as well. And as you are doing your ninja, if you want, as you straighten the right leg, we can point the left knee towards the front of the mat, right heel onto the ground, hands onto the ground, chest up, getting a good deeper half split so we can get a little more into the right hamstrings here. Maybe taking our hands towards the foot. Another breath. Ninja your way to the left side. Internally rotate that right knee in. Good. Hands starting by the hips, straight spine, walking over towards the left foot. Keeping the toes up, stretching out the hamstrings here. Good. And I'm going to go ahead, back to the center. Wide-legged forward fold. As you're here in the wide-legged forward fold, we can take the hands underneath our pelvic towards the back of the room. Good. Nice. We can start with the straight spine, hip hinge. Take the hands behind, creating a deeper hip hinge. Maybe a little flexation into the glutes here. Nice to get a little deeper. Chest towards the ground. Okay, find a halfway lift through the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Hands in front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. You can go ahead and go through about 3 to 5 more movements here, coming from your hip hinge. And then into your forward fold, getting deeper into the inner thighs this time. Good. Make sure the thighs are nice and active. Kneecaps are lifted. Good. Nice. And then why don't we go ahead, walk back to the front of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Find the inhale, halfway lift. Good. Exhale, forward fold. You're gonna bend the knees, palms face up, stretch your arms nice and wide. Inhale, rise, high mountain. Good. And as we meet the palms together here towards the ceiling, let's go ahead, engage the glutes, very slightly tuck in that tailbone. Good. Bring the arms more towards the ceiling and towards the ears. If you have your booty popped out, it limits the range of motion into your shoulders, so why don't we just bring it in more, so we can bring our arms a little more back here. Good. Bring your chest in as well, lift up 2 inches. As your feet are together here, good. We're going to inhale, side bend over towards the right side of the room. Good. Biceps are still alongside the ears. Just squeeze those glutes together. Stretching out the side body. Okay. 2 more breaths. Inhale, rise. Arms up towards the ceiling. Lift up your spine nice and tall, and then start to side bend over towards the left side of the room. I'm not going to go too deep. My right side is sore today. But allow yourself to go as deep as you would like. Making sure that we maintain that length so that we're not just crashing into a very shallow spot here. 2 more breaths. Good. And inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And then if you would like here, arms up, you start to lift through the chest and create a back bend. Again, I'm not going to go too deep. My right ribs are sore today. Good. And then exhale, release, palms into the heart center. Good. And then from here, hands up to the thighs, hip hinge. Good. And then forward fold. Let's take the hands to the mat and let's walk our right leg, let's walk our right leg back into high lunge here. Good. Squaring through the hips. Eye gaze are forward. Good. Getting nice and strong into the hips. Let's go ahead and lift the left palm up towards the ceiling. Nice little yogi pup. Good. And then as we take the left hand towards the ceiling, we can take the hand behind our spine, so the back of the hand facing towards your eye gaze, and then navigating it towards the back of your spine as if you're trying to grab onto the right leg. A deeper chest opening. One more breath. And then we can rise. Left arm and back towards the ground here, dropping the right knee. As we drop the right knee, right foot, just go ahead and send that right hip crease back. Coming to a higher half splits here. Good. You can take your hands by your left foot. You can use the block as well. Good. And then we're very slowly going to come into our Anjaneyasana. Hands up to the thighs to prep. Good. Bring that stomach in towards your spine. Good. Bend the front knee. Then once you're ready, you can take your arms up towards the ceiling. You can also take it into cactus if your arms are sore today. Good. 3 breaths. Palm meets to the heart center. And why don't we go ahead, lengthen through the spine and twist over to the left side of the room. Good. Maintain that length as we twist. Press the palms together. Lift up through the chest. Good. Inhale, untwist. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and place the right hand down and walk the left foot just a couple inches towards the left. Point the toes out and get a little deeper into the hips here. We're going to take the left hand and navigate the left knee towards the left side of the room. Maybe go on the outer edge of the left foot. Good. Eye gaze over the left shoulder. Good. 2 more breaths. Let's make it 3 more. Good. You can bring that knee in, flex through the right knee, come back to plank here. Good. As we're in plank, we can go through a vinyasa flow, coming forward, chaturanga, flip the feet, upward facing dog, chest forward, shoulders back, hips rise, exhale. Downward facing dog. Good. This is our first down dog, so allow yourself to get some good pedals here. And one heel at a time. Hips up into the air. Good. And then we're going to very slowly walk our way to the front of the mat. Halfway lift. Guide into Uttanasana, forward fold. Good. We're going to inhale, rise, palms all the way up into high mountain. And then slowly release, Samasthiti. Bring the hip hinge back. And then start to slide your hands back down to the mat. Let's go ahead and take the left leg down this time. Good. Taking a couple breaths into your high mountain, warming up the left side here. Or I should say high lunge. Good. Left thigh should be lifted, no dips down, nice and strong here. As we place the left hand onto the ground, we can start to twist, right arm towards the ceiling. And as you navigate a couple breaths here, you can take the back of the hand and bring it behind your spine. Good. Then get to a deeper twist, opening up our shoulders here. Good. You can very slowly release, coming into your running lunge, dropping the left knee, top of the left foot here. Good. Navigate your hands onto your thighs, so lift through your hips. And start to tuck in, or I should say, bring the stomach in towards your spine, straight spine. Come a little deeper into your Anjaneyasana here, and once you're ready, arms up towards the ceiling. And then you can very slowly take your hands, lift up through the spine, and navigate into a twist towards the right side of the room. 2 more breaths. Let's make it 3. Slowly undo your twist. Hands to the ground. Let's walk the right knee just a little bit towards the right side of the room. Coming onto the outer edge of the right foot. You can guide the right hand onto the right knee. Gaze over the right shoulder, getting more opening into the right hip. Good. Slowly walk that right knee in. Curl the left toes. Bring the right foot back into plank. Chaturanga, flip the feet. Upward facing dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Pedal up through the knees. Then as we are here in our down dog, we can rise the left leg up towards the ceiling. And then you can go ahead and bend to the knee. Then open up the hip crease here. Or you can create some circulations. Finding some good movement into the left hip socket. Good. And then with the left knee, then we go ahead and square through the hips. Inhale, knee to nose center. Exhale, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee. Inhale, knee to the left elbow. Little spinal twist. Exhale, 3-legged dog. So we come forward into pigeon. Good. Bringing the left knee behind the left ankle. Left foot behind the right thigh, or right hand, I should say. Good. And then allowing ourselves to come here into pigeon pose. Rotate the right hip crease in. Lift up through the chest. If you need to place a pillow or blanket underneath the right thigh, you can go ahead and do so. But same here, bring the stomach in and towards your spine and rise up here. Find that core engagement. And then when you're ready, you can bring your forearms forward first into a forward pigeon. Maybe stack your fists and the head rests onto the fists. Good. Or you can maybe go in a little deeper. Arms onto the ground, head onto the ground, maybe head onto a block. Three more breaths. And then with our hands, as we straighten our hands and rise, we can go ahead and walk over towards the right corner of the mat, forearms to the ground. Come at a hip hinge here at the ankle. Bringing more tension to the side body and to the left hip. 2 more breaths. Good. Straighten the arms, walk over with the right hand onto the left thigh. Taking the left hand maybe in alignment with the left hip, chest rises. Good. Getting a little spinal twist. Look over the left shoulder here. 3 breaths. Good. Coming back. Let's go ahead, curl the right toes, bend the left knee, rise left leg up towards the ceiling. Good. And then let's go ahead and slowly release the left foot. Walk up the feet here, heel and heel to the ground. Over to the left foot, inhale, rise, right leg up towards the ceiling. Gonna bend the knee, open up the hip crease. Either keep it open, maybe create some circulations into the knee, some joint mobility here. Good. Square the hips, inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, 3-legged dog. Inhale, knee to the left, elbow, little twist. Good. And then we can untwist, 3-legged dog. Inhale, bend the knee, and then come into pigeon, setting the right foot behind the left hand. Good. Sliding the left knee back, top of the left foot onto the ground. And again, here, since our hips are different, if you need to apply a pillow or blanket underneath the right hip crease here, you can go ahead and do so. Front shin does not have to be parallel to the mat. Good, so we can take the right hand onto the right thigh, bring your stomach in, find that lift through the chest. Good, a couple breaths, nice and straight here. Good, and once you're ready, you can slowly start to hip hinge into a forward pigeon. Good, forearms can start into the ground, maybe some fists to stack, or possibly a block underneath your head. You make your way to the forearms, all the way to the ground if you would like. Wherever you are at, and 3 breaths. And after your 3 breaths, you can walk your arms over towards the left corner of the mat. Create a hip hinge here. Good. And you go through the arms, finding your pigeon, placing the left hand onto the right thigh, right hand by the right hip. Bring your chest up towards the ceiling, straight spine, coming into a twist here. 3 breaths. And you can very slowly release. Good. Go ahead, curl the left toes from here. Rise back up into 3-legged dog. Coming into your downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out each leg. And come forward here, plank, 3 breaths. Nice and strong into the core here. Bring the knees down. Good. And then you can just very slowly come up onto your seated area here. Good. And so for here, you're going to go ahead. See what time it was. You can go ahead and grab a block, possibly even 2. Good. And just place them by the mat for now. And we're going to find ourselves onto our spine for some of these workouts. Good. We're going to hug our knees into the chest. Rock side to side. Maybe get a little ankle action here. Good. And as we are on our spine, we're going to hug the right knee in. We're going to straighten the left leg all the way up towards the ceiling. Getting it nice and engaged, toes pointed. Good. And very slowly stretch the left foot all the way to the front of the mat. Good. Bringing the right knee in towards the armpit. And then very slowly placing the right foot onto the mat here. So when we go ahead and place the hands back by your hips, rotate our shoulders back into the ground, chest is lifted. If you need to have a blanket underneath your sacrum here, you can go ahead and do so. But the right foot's going to be nice and planted into the ground. Knee is bent, point the left toes to the ground. And from here, engage the lower core. Inhale, point the left toes towards the ceiling. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release. And go ahead and do this for 3 more times, total of 5. Nice and slow and concentrated. Don't let the heel touch the ground. Good. And then the next time that your legs up in the air, I want you to inhale, abduct, bringing your left toes out. Inhale, rise. Exhale, abduct. Inhale, rise. Do this 3 more times. And this one's going to be a little difficult because your knee wants to splay out to the side. But to keep this hip nice and strong, we're going to navigate the knee just a little bit towards the left side, especially when we rise up. Good. Good. After we've done the 5, we can go ahead and bend the left knee into the chest. Hug the left knee in. Straighten out through the right leg up towards the ceiling. And very slowly release. Stretch it all the way to the front of the mat here. Good. Take it a couple breaths. Hug the knee in towards the shoulder. And we can very slowly drop the left foot onto the mat. Good. Engage the lower core. Point the toes out. Press the left foot to the ground. Inhale, rise. Right leg towards the ceiling. Exhale, slowly release, hover. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release, slowly hover. Good. 3 more times for a total of 5. Keep your hands rooted. Left foot rooted, left knee into place. Okay, then once you've done your 5, you're going to go ahead leg up in towards the ceiling, and you're gonna add darts. Inhale, bring the left foot up, right foot out. Bring it back in. Inhale, right foot out, all the way down. Good. Bring the foot back in, and go ahead and do that 5 times. Good. And once you've done it the 5 times, you can go ahead, hug the right knee into your chest, and then place the right foot on top of the left thigh, creating that figure 4 shape here. Good. Then as we create that figure 4 shape, guide the right knee out, hands by your hips, shoulders underneath. And from here, we're gonna go ahead, inhale, rise into a bridge pose. And into the bridge pose, we can take our forearms underneath our spine here, lift it through the chest. We're going to square the hips, pressing the right foot into the left thigh, right knee down. Good. 5 breaths. Good. After the 5 breaths of having this hip opening, you can release the hands, slowly release the hips. Bring the left knee into the chest. Good. Just for a couple breaths here, bent right leg. And then we can place the left foot right on top of the right thigh here. You get positioned for a bridge. Create that figure 4 with the thighs. And then from here, we're slowly inhale, rise, coming into bridge. Bringing the palms right underneath. Spine here. Good. So pressing the forearms into the mat. Pressing the left foot into the right thigh into the left foot, square through the hips, 5 breaths. And then when you're ready after the 5 breaths, you can very slowly release. Release the leg, do a couple windshield wipes or even a butterfly pose if you would like. Good. And then we're gonna go ahead and come up onto our spine here. Good, and we're going to take a block and we're going to place it right underneath our shoulders here. Make sure I'm paying attention to the time. Nice. So we're going to go ahead and place it underneath our shoulders with our hands behind our head here. Good. Getting our upper thoracic spine nice and supported. Good. And we're going to go ahead, rise up through the hips. And as we rise up through the hips with the elbows out, we're going to go ahead and bend the left knee. Good. We're going to inhale, rise, hips up, straighten the left leg towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend, lower the hips. Inhale, rise, straighten the leg. Exhale, lower the hips, rebend. 3 more times. And then one more time, inhale, rise up the hips, rise up the leg, flex the left foot on top of the right thigh, figure 4. Good. And then as we have this figure 4 here, you're waiting for my right foot out a little bit more. Good. And lifting up through the hips. 5 times, bring the hips down, chest is lifted. dip. Inhale, rise. You're using your hips to find movement here. Exhale, dip. Keeping the elbows out, chest open. Total of 5. Once you have your 5, inhale, figure 4, rise up like a towards the ceiling. Slowly bend forward, bring the foot to the ground, knee to the ground. Good. They come off the block, and they come into a forward fold here, but just bringing the chest and the stomach onto the thighs, chin to chest. Good. Taking a couple breaths here. And then you go ahead and refine yourself onto the block. And if you feel like, you want to bring it up a level, you can stack both of the blocks here. Good. So if you feel like you need a little bit more height, you can go ahead and stack the blocks. Again, placing it right onto the rib cage so you get that support here. Good. Clasp the hands behind your head, elbows out. Good. And then from here, bend the right knee in. Inhale, rise, right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, dip the hips, bend the knee. Inhale, rise straight. Exhale, dip the hips, bend the knee. Good. 5 more times. And with the last time, you can inhale, rise. Bring the left leg on top of the right thigh. Right leg on top of the left thigh, excuse me. Good. 5 dips. Inhale, dip with the hips, chest rises. Good. Exhale, rise. Inhale, dip. Exhale, rise. 3 more breaths. And then once you're done your 5, inhale, straighten the right leg up towards the ceiling. And slowly release, right foot down. Yourself off the blocks. Come into a seated forward fold. Good. You can remove the blocks at this time. Good. And come onto the spine. Grab a block. Good. From here, go ahead, hold the block, and just allow your feet to fan in and out like a butterfly. So knees up. Exhale, fan the knees out. Good. Inhale up, fan them out. Just for a couple breaths. And we're going to go ahead and take the block in between the knees here. Hands are onto the ground. Good. So knees are bent, block is in between the knees. Good. We're going to inhale, rise up through the knees, bring the block in towards our chest. And then exhale, straighten the legs outwards. Inhale, bring the block in towards our chest. Exhale, straighten the legs outward. 5 more times. Squeezing onto the blocks with your knees. And then after the 5 times, next time you bring your knees in, bring them just above your hips. Then rise, straighten your legs up towards the ceiling. This one might be a little bit more challenging for us. And then bringing our arms above our head. So as we inhale, straighten the legs, just nice and hover towards the ground. Inhale, tap our hands to the shins. Exhale, release. Inhale, tap hands to the shins. Exhale, release. Trying to keep the hips onto the ground. Give you a little bit of the core workout here. With their hips. 3 more times. Good. Slowly bend through the knees. Remove the blocks. Bring a pillow in. Good. And from here, we're going to straighten the right leg. Left knee comes into the chest. And inhale, supine twist. The left leg onto the pillow. Right arm onto the mat here. Take a good amount of breaths here. Don't count them. Good. Slowly come onto your spine. And I'm going to switch to the opposite side here, bending the right knee into your chest. Supine twist, right knee over onto the pillow. Yeah, it could be at a T or cactus. I use it with the left shoulder. Slowly find yourself back onto your hips. Hug the knees into your chest. Coming into happy baby pose. Got the final asana of today's practice before Shavasana. Nice. Legs together, inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. Point your toes to the front of the mat. Taking a deep inhale in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Placing the hands wherever it's comfortable. And just enjoying the next few moments here, Shavasana. So thank you very much for coming to 7 a.m. class. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day.